Hi everyone. I used to build the systems the hard way. APIs, webhooks, custom integrations, hours wiring this together. And now we're at a point where an AI can actually use your computer, click around the browser, and you just talk to it in a plain language. In theory, that means automation without sophisticated API setups, available not just for developers, but almost for everyone. But is it really like that in real life? In this video, I'm going to stress test Perplexity's Comet browser with agent mode on real business tasks I actually care about. We're gonna build an anything agent for my Gmail, screen HR assistants, work with third-party apps, ask it to write formulas in Excel, and even set up a Facebook campaign for me. Is this a game-changing coworker for your business or just an overhyped trash? Let's find out. Stay tuned till the end, because at the end I will show you how you can get Perplexity Pro for a year free of charge. Alright, so in order to use Perplexity's Comet browser, we have to basically go to perplexity.ai/comet and we have to download this app for the desktop. Once you download the app, you'll basically have this app has been appeared, and basically you can see that you can use a general Perplexity account here and search for stuff. But what we're looking to do is we're looking to test the AI assistant with the web browser on it. Right, so the first workflow we're going to test the AI agent on is basically building an NA10 scenario. Since NA10 is basically a drag and drop interface, it should be able to work and interact with it to actually build a very simple scenario. So for this purpose, you can click on the very top on the AI assistant. I will enter the prompt and I will hit enter. And now you can see kind of the blue waves around the screen. It means the agent actually started working on the screen, and now I can't actually press anything on that particular screen because the AI agent is actually working there. So let's quickly read a prompt what it needs to do. So you're a professional NN10 workflow developer. You have to create an agent connected to Gmail account, and whenever we receive a new email, you have to draft a reply and save it in drafts on Gmail. Otherwise, if the email is about meeting or something, you have to add a tool to check the calendar. Okay, so let's see if this agent can actually build me a workflow, a very simple one, but still with kind of NN10 drag and drop interfaces without me actually going deep and, setting this up myself. Alright, so AI has finished its work and it took about 10 minutes or so to build this simple automation. So this is what we got, and let's actually execute and see what we got. Alright, so this Gmail trigger seems to be working. And by the way, by default, my account was connected, so it didn't need to connect it. So it got some sort of a message, I guess, the last or whatever. So clearly I can see that we're lacking here a chat model that we need to set. So I would just go, I don't know, with this model. Let's take a look at this one. So it was able to actually craft a prompt. So your professional email assistant, your task is to read the emails, blah, blah, blah. You can use a calendar tool. So the prompt is actually quite okay. I mean, it's not very detailed, but it's okay for this simple purpose. It added a specific tool, get many events. What is lacking for sure is credentials, right? So I don't have my account connect. So yeah, basically it looks actually 1 week before and after. I'm not sure if that was by default or it actually came up with this, but it actually came up with a description. So check calendar availability, retrieve my calendar events for a given date range to find available time slots for meetings. So that's pretty precise, so the tool should be just fine if we also set up the credential here. And the last node is basically create a Gmail account, and I can already tell that this is going to be a problem because it's using the JSON subject reference, but here at AI agent we will not have a subject. Basically it has to use a specific module from the Gmail trigger with the name of that module. So this is not going to work. I have to check this one if this is going to work. I'm not sure, but it might actually fail as well. But yeah, so I mean, it was able to kind of set the basic nodes that we need, but it struggled a little bit with the settings. For sure, with credentials, didn't add a chat model. And here, since it did not run actually the data so that it appears on the left-hand side and you can use it to map it easily, and later on, it struggled with the reference. So for NA10, I mean, even for some basic builds, you will need to have the domain knowledge and customize it. I think it's just easier for me to do it myself from the scratch, rather than to use AI assistant for this particular purpose. So let's move to the next test. So for the next test, I'm going to open an AI assistant again, and I'm going to upload a file. So this file will be HR assistant job post, and I'll just ask it to actually read the job post, go on LinkedIn, find 20 AI assistants, HR assistants in Latvia, and there compare them to my job description, make SWOT analysis and scoring of each candidate. Indeed, I have a video about this one, doing this through the API and basically connecting different services through API in make.com or NA10. And basically, that's not a hard job. It's a kind of a workaround that you can make, but for people who are not familiar with n8n or Make, or who doesn't want to deal with like API documentation and stuff, they might actually try using AI assistant for this, like Comet browser. And let's actually see if we can get decent results out of this one. I on purpose did 20 candidates, so we have a little bit of time for it to work and check what are the results. But if it works for 20, we can set it to do it for 100. Okay, so let's see how it goes. I already see that it was able to navigate to LinkedIn, and I have all the accounts synced, so my LinkedIn is synced, so we don't need to waste time on sign-ins. And let's actually see if it can deliver the task and what it's actually asked to do. Alright, it tells me that it has finished basically a disconnection. I encountered a disconnection while searching for HR assistant profiles. To continue, I can reconnect, so let me tell it to reconnect and continue. I need the results in Google Sheets. Okay, so sometimes for whatever reason it may disconnect. I just don't know why this actually happens. So, I mean, if you want, what you would usually do is you would give it a task and go and do some other task, grab a coffee or anything. But I mean, from time to time you have to come back and basically check if everything is working, because for some reason sometimes it can actually disconnect. So let's continue and see if it can accomplish the whole task. Alright, so it says it has finished, so let's take a look. So basically it has created a Google Sheet for me, but again it says that it has disconnected. When you're ready, let me get back real quick, or we can reconnect. Complete the job. Okay, so let's do that again. Alright, so the guy says it has finished, and let me quickly see. It says, okay, so completed. I've done 10 to 15 qualified candidates, and we can see its analysis, the sheet URL. When you're ready, I can again reconnect and finish. No, thank you. That's enough. You've done it already 2 or 3 times. I'm done with it. So I don't know what is really the problem. It may be the case that they have like a limit on how much time it can work per task, but it just keeps disconnecting, as it says I was disconnected or something. And this is so boring. So this task definitely not completed. So yes, it did some analysis. It did provide me with some of the results here, because it actually needed to read the job description and need to come up with a scoring. It needed to find those candidates and some information about them. But in order to output them into Google Sheets, it did indeed open the Google Sheets, but it struggled to insert all the data. It just did one candidate after all. So I'm done with this task. I would say no, it can't really do and substitute, doing this through API, unfortunately, yet. And we're gonna just move to the next one. So the next task is relatively simple. I do like Suno.com. That's basically AI for creating music, and I have a video about using Suno API somewhere here, so you can watch it. But what I wanted to do, if I want to create playlists, I need to create sometimes hundreds of songs so that I can mix them for my video. So instead of me doing that, I can actually ask AI to do this for me. And in this case, I will ask it to generate me 10 songs. And if it can generate tons of songs, potentially it can generate hundreds of different songs. So I'll just go and hit enter and ask it to go to a third-party app and interact with a third-party app. Once again, I'm already signed in to Suno.com, so there should be no problems with logging in. But there is usually a problem for generating songs, especially if you have started generating 2 or 4 songs. You have to wait until they're completed to generate new songs. That's why doing it manually takes actually a lot of time, and it will be much better if AI can do this for us. So let's actually see if it can generate 10 songs for us. Alright, so it has finished, and actually it took 40 steps to complete in about like 15 minutes. I guess it's a little bit longer than I expected. And let's actually take a look if it was able to generate 10 songs. So it's generated 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 songs. That's actually a lot of songs. I think the main problem with this one was that whenever you click generate, it automatically will generate 2 songs for you, and it basically went like in 10 times click to generate a song, and at the end it ended up with 20 songs. But I mean, at the end of the day, it was able to do that. Let's maybe quickly take a listen at one of the examples that it has generated.
So high, feet on the earth, reaching for the sky.
What I like about this one, because it generated the prompts for each of the songs on its own. Spiritual groove, funk, chanting, sacred sounds. I probably wouldn't be able to generate these prompts myself. Again, I will need to use AI for this, but as this is AI, was already by definition, it was pretty nice to quickly get and generate it. So I think it was able to generate 10. It would be able to generate 100 songs as well if I need this for the playlist. So I would say this kind of task was actually passed on a good note. So it can definitely generate the songs. It took a little bit more time than I expected, and it generated more songs than needed, but it completed the task the way it needed to. So let's move to the next test. So for the next task, I will give it a prompt like this. Should be very simple. So you're an Excel advanced user with 20 years of experience. You must fill in the table with formulas in the sheet summary from the data from other sheets, costs and cost by. So we get a regular report from a company that has costs given in a table, and then we have costs by a shop given in a table. And basically what this guy needs to do, it needs to get the data from different tables into the summary sheet so we can present it to the board. All right, so for this one, you can use different formulas like index match, lookup, xlookup, or even like sum if formulas. And you know, if I know the formula, that's going to be a pretty easy and straightforward task. But if I struggle, I mean, it might be faster to do it with AI. So let's see if AI can actually write the formulas for me. So let's see how much time it's going to take. All right, so this guy has completed the first row. It asks me, would you like me to continue and complete the remaining rows? All right, so let's just hit stop here because I've already continued 2 times, and this will just taking like more than 20 minutes. It just got disconnected all the time. And what I actually figure out, the longer the task, basically, the dumber it gets. So whenever I ask it to do something real quick, in the very beginning, it works perfectly. It just goes straight away, clicks the right buttons, etc. But as we go through and basically the time flies, it just gets dumber and dumber. It takes more time to process, it gets more information, and it just struggles. I mean, it just can't do, I mean, here you will pretty much go and do this formula. So let me quickly check the formulas it's actually wrote. If those few formulas are correct, then we can extend those. It's taking administration salary, it searches by cost BB and it outputs cost DD. So BB and DD, that's pretty much correct, I guess. And they freezed BB columns, and here we got GG. So the formula essentially is correct. So I can go and extend that formula right in here. So when I was testing it, it was able to fill in these blanks as well. But it just takes so much time. I mean, it's just more than 20 minutes to do this thing, and apparently it just disconnected. So yeah, we will move to the next test and very last one, where I opened the ads manager, but I wanted to go itself and set the ad for me. So you're a professional marketing expert, specialized in ad. Your job is to launch Facebook ad for me to boost views in my next video, blah, blah, blah. So, okay, I can see, however, notice mentioned the visual attached. Okay, so it asks for a visual. So pick random visual, assume anything else yourself. Okay, so we are not a little bit not precise here, but I don't want to be precise. I just wanted to make a campaign for me, and if it can do so. So it clicks to add a new campaign. Now it needs to choose a specific objective. And let's actually see if it accomplishes that and how the final is going to look like. And then we basically evaluate the whole thing. right, okay, so basically, so go and create it for me. I apologize, the connection was interrupted again. So it just keeps failing, and I guess either I have to restart or something, and I'm not gonna do this. Well, basically, it was able to just, launch the campaign, sort of, so to say. Basically went to send the traffic, which is fine. Could be a website or a video. It didn't set a specific goal. I'm not even sure if it changed any of these things, to be honest, because I mean, I guess when you create an ad, they might be added by default. So I'm not sure if we'd even get into the settings because it says the connection was interrupted again. So yeah, let me just give you a kind of a quick overview what I think about it. This is definitely not the tool you're gonna use for agentic workflows yet. You can do some simple stuff because when you are on a page, you can click summarize the page. When you go on Twitter, you can summarize tweets, you can summarize comments on your like YouTube video and something like that. So some very simple and basic things it can do, but for something more important and agentic, like for example, take the data from here, add it here, analyze, it just can't run it. For example, here, when we tested it on Suna, okay, it's basically pressing the button every time, the songs are loaded. It can do that. Whenever I ask something more sophisticated, write an Excel formula, for whatever reason, it just struggles with it. It just, keeps telling me, okay, I'm just getting interrupted. So a few things that I noted. First of all, it just keeps disconnecting. For whatever reasons, it just keeps disconnecting from the task. It might be the case that it has like a certain a time limit, how much it can work per a single task, and if you exceed that limit, it just shows the disconnected. So that's one thing. Also, the second thing, the longer it works on a task, the more stupid it gets. Basically, it's harder for it to work on a task. So if I provide it with kind of this spreadsheet and I say, hey, insert the formula here and do extend it for the whole table, I have a higher chance of succeeding instead of just saying, hey, you need to open an Excel file, get the data from here, compare two tables, and basically insert the formula. Just because the key task will be closer to an end, so that it needs to do some research before that, I kind of increase its chances of failure. So it thinks longer and it makes dumber decision as it goes. So what I've encountered that the more clear tasks are, so that it can start working on a task straight away, the better outcomes are gonna get. Also, one more thing that I noticed, it cannot actually drag items. So if I said, here is the formula that you need to drag like this, it doesn't really do so. So what it can do, it can copy paste this whole scenario, or it can click, hold shift and click like this. So it can do that. So for example, in NA10, you don't really hold shift or click anything. You have to drag things. So it can't really drag things. So we can only click and insert text. So that's kind of another, another limitation here. So my overview and opinion on this one, that Perplexity Comet is not yet useful for business related tasks. You still need to probably do it yourself, specifically API calls, or if you want to integrate different apps, etc. Given the state where we are and how we develop, I'm very excited for the future. Because now I'm actually testing it and I see it fails at a very simple thing. Like, remember getting data from LinkedIn, it just can't output it to the second row. But I'm 100% sure that a year after this day, this never be a problem again. Because the models get smarter and smarter. And this is such a stupid mistake. And I don't know, just because maybe because of a lot of the context that it has, it just doesn't figure it out instantly. But I truly believe this will be solved. This will be solved very soon. And if this guy can actually take this and get this data from LinkedIn to the sheets for 20 people, you can do that for 100 or for thousands. You will not really need the APIs in the future because you can have AI to interact with the user interface. Well, saying not need API is a little bit too bold because for the systems, you will still need it. But for the other people that don't need to build systems, but just want to use some of the cool features without the actual knowledge of APIs, they will be able to actually deliver that. So I'm truly inspired and excited what we can get in the future, because if this technology already can do so much, and interact with so many apps, it's just gonna get better. And eventually we're gonna get to the process when it can easily set up Facebook ads for you without you even touching the screen. It will write Excel formulas. Here it already inserted some formulas which were correct. It just struggled because the task was actually fill in 3 tables. And gathering data from LinkedIn, building scenarios, this is just a matter of time. So I'm very excited for the future. I'm a little bit disappointed with the results we got today yet, but I'm very excited that this is going to improve in the future, and we're going to get smarter and smarter agents that will really do completely autonomous task without us even touching the screen. Alright, that was Comet on real work, not lab demos. And you've just seen it try to build N8N automations, screen candidates, talk to third-party apps, write formulas, all that without me babysitting every single click. For me, the question was, is this a tool I'd actually trust in my daily workflow or something that just looks cool on X for a week and then dies in the bookmarks bar? Now you've got your own answer. Tell me in the comments below what you would test next with Comet or other AI agents, and if you want a deep dive on any of the workflows from this video. If this helped you, hit like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.